What's going on YouTube? Today we got a drop fade tutorial for you guys. I'm gonna try to make it easy and as simple to understand as possible. So first thing I like to do, I always like to debulk. So I got my Andis Masters one guard on all the way open. This is gonna make sure that I don't take too much hair off but still smooth down the fading area. It's better to debulk your workspace so you can see exactly where you want to fade and how you want to do it, as opposed to just going in fading on top of all that bulkiness in the hair. Now I'm going to take my wall detailers and I like to set my drop fade guideline in below the occipital bone. It's that bone in the back of the head that pops out. If you black, you know what I'm talking about, because you 9 times out of 10 got talked about for having a big one. And I like to set it in the back first, so when I do the side guidelines, I can just match them up towards the back instead of making them uneven on the sides. With this drop fade, we are keeping his C-cup area darker, so I like to curve the guideline like so, making sure that we don't fade off that C-cup area. Here I have my 1.5 guard on closed. What I'm doing here is softening up my workspace so that I can keep my fade dark. I always like to keep my fades darker at the top, lighter going down to bald at the bottom. Next I'm going in with my Andis Masters, no guard open about 1 inch. This is the most important guideline because if you don't fade this part all the way out properly, your fade is going to be messed up. And if you bald this part of the fade out, your fade is really going to be messed up. So you have to actually blend the two in from bald to no guard open. Now here I'm softening up the bottom line of that fade. If you take your trimmers and turn them around, you can flick at the bottom line and get that bald line out that you set in so harsh. Sometimes I don't even use liners to set in my guideline, but for this video I know a lot of barbers do, so I'm going to show you guys how to get it out. Just nudge at that bottom line to soften that line up so that you can go in with your fading clippers and fade just like so. As y'all can see, we are lever closed now, and you don't even see the bottom bald guideline anymore because we just soften it up with our trimmers. That's a major key to put into your barbering techniques. Notice how I'm closed with the lever, but I'm not going up all the way. I'm just going up just a little bit because we do have to go halfway in this method. Now I'm dropping down to halfway and we're nudging up again just a little bit, just adding some levels to our fade. That's what those notches on the side of the clipper are for, to have you know where you are in your particular part of the fade. And as y'all can see, this line is slowly coming out, it's slowly fading out. Now we're going to the second notch on our lever. We're going in between where we faded at with notch 3 and notch 1. Right where that little faint line is, we're going to go with notch 2, and it's going to take us all the way to the end of the fade. Once you get the hang of fading, you can detail by using your lever to just, go up or down. Like I just went back to halfway to hit some darker spots. It's all about lever play at the end of the day, trial and error trying to get these lines out. And detailing is a very important part of this as well. You don't just want to go straight in with the steps. You have to develop an eye for blending certain things out on certain hair textures. Now we're going one guard closed and we're going to nudge at that next line so we can move up into our fade. A lot of people go one guard open, which I do too, but for this particular hair texture, I wanted to be able to see my next level of transition. So I'm going from no guard open to one guard closed, and we're going to start fading up from there. Now that we got that out the way, we're going to go one guard open in a scoop out motion and just scoop out at that thick line at the top of the fade. Not all the way up, but the next level of the fade. Now we're going to be able to see where we need to start detailing it to get this fade to come together. Now in between the one guard closed and the one guard open, we're going to go halfway and hit in between that area. I'm pointing at it with my brush right where these dark spots are at. We're going to try to fade these lines out. And now that we're done with halfway, we're gonna drop back down to close and just soften up that blend and make sure we got everything flowing in place. Now I'm gonna go one guard close with the grain, and I'm just gonna smooth down the top of this fade, making sure that this part of the fade is always with the grain, because there are two different looks that are against the grain fade and the with the grain fade look like. So we get to keep these curls laid down going with the grain this way as opposed to going up against the grain, making the hair look more separated. It won't be as of a full look. So now I got my Babyliss 1.5 guard, and all I'm gonna do is go against the grain and flick out the top of this blend where we just laid it down with our one guard open, just to make sure that these two parts of the fades connect. Now it's time for detail work. I like to use my Andis Masters because they got the long blade on them, and you can corner cut pretty good with these. Corner cutting is like cutting every other hair and just thinning out the little dark spot that you see within your fade. And you have to develop an eye for this as well. And you can do a good fade, but if you don't detail it, it won't be a great fade. But if you do detail it, it brings out everything to its full potential. And because my guy wears his do-rag a lot, his line was growing at two different lengths. Not because it was pushed back by anybody, but because of his do-rag. A do-rag will do this to you. So I'm gonna lay him down with some shaving cream, making sure that all these curls are laid down so that I can line them up good. Hit him with the hot towel. For those of you who don't know, a hot towel is almost like the baby version of washing the hair. It doesn't get all the dirt off the scalp, but it does clean the scalp good enough to do a good lineup. And right now I'm using my straight razor method while the scalp and the hair is still a little damp, not super damp because I won't get no pull with it, but it is moist enough for me to glide my razor over and knock the edges off. This is more so like of an OG type of style of lining the edge up. So if you're in barber school, I would most definitely be trying to practice this technique as much as I can. When it comes to longevity on a haircut, I mean the straight razor is the thing that's gonna give you the most longevity, period. Whether you do it first or whether you come back up and touch it up after your trimmers, you just have to get familiar with your razor and grow a good relationship with it so that you can get those fine details. Now I'm just gonna go back and tap all the loose hairs that I left over with my wall detailers. All right, now I'm taking those same detailers and I'm gonna create this curved part, setting in with the full blade at the beginning, and now I'm using the edge of that blade to kind of carve out the shape that I want this part to be in. If you're scared of designs or you're a little timid when doing them, just be patient and let your clippers do all the work. You don't have to do it super fast. Now I got my clipper upside down and I'm hitting the bottom part of that line, giving it some thickness so that you can see it without having to squint your eye. You want to have some type of depth inside of these designs so that they last long and so that they look good and that they'll pop as well. Alright, now I'm going in with my straight razor, and all we doing is going inside of that part and getting all those stubble hairs out, making sure that it lasts long and pop. You know, longevity is very important. Alright, now I'm taking my air compressor, doing a light little foundation, not going super dark, just making sure that that junk laid down is popping, blending in, making sure my boy extra crispy. I know y'all see that little drop of blood right there. That's my mistake. This video is 2 years old, so I don't know if that was a bump or just because the razor was sharp. I don't know, but nevertheless, I'm not perfect, and I ain't trying to be on YouTube and pretend like I'm perfect. I mess up too, man. Now I'm going in with my topic hair fibers, going on top of that with another light layer. The compressor gives it a shiny look, but these fibers gives it more of a texturized look that looks like hair. And it all just comes together, and it does last longer than just putting regular topic on top of the hair. Alright, now we're gonna blow dry that thing after putting on some holding spray. Got to be glue, and Tresemme is some of the best holding spray out there for those of you who don't know which one to use. And now we're just gonna come back and touch up everything with our liners, making sure to get all the excess little fibers off and making sure that they all lined up nice and neat. And this is the finished product, man. If you like what you're seeing, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff, man. I'm here back on YouTube to help my guys really learn a few more skills. I'm not perfect. I ain't trying to portray myself as perfect. I got a lot of flaws in my game. I'm really not here for the negativity. I'm just here dropping what I got. Each one teach one mentality, bruh. As long as you can learn something from this video, that's all I'm worried about. And if it can take your skills to the next level and further your game, man, I did my job. I'm perfecting my craft every day as well, but I really appreciate y'all tuning in. I will be back with more content.